You ever been halfway through your day, nursing a stomach grumble so regrettable it feels like the ghost of last night's dinner is staging a sit-in? That might not just have been indigestion. It could be your body rebelling against the chemical stagecraft behind so-called cheap eats. Think about that. What if those budget-friendly meals are less affordable and more like Frankenstein feasts built on shortcuts and synthetic magic? Take those iconic fries that make the air around McDonald's smell like a golden ticket. They don't sizzle naturally in beef fat. They're coated in beef flavoring to mimic tallow, the true fat they used back in the 80s before a media storm, and even lawsuits pushed them to switch oils. So that irresistible aroma? Crafted. Almost like smelling nostalgia, but with a side of deception. And if you thought those breakfast sandwiches were simple, snap frozen eggs dumped onto a bun like perfectly shaped hockey pucks. The patty? Pulled from low-grade trimmings, reassembled, grilled by robots. That fresh vibe you buy into is an illusion, and maybe your gut knows it. Stay tuned. Coming later, we'll pull back the curtain on how your soda fountain's shiny facade pales compared to what's lurking inside. Backstage? Buns stored near mop buckets, tray rags doubling as counterwipes. Fryer oil old enough to remember Y2K, only masked with salt and fake flavor. One health inspector found raw beef handled, then fries scooped with the same unwashed hands. And that soda fountain glow? Mold, syrup sludge, black slime. The inside of those dispensers would make a dorm room fridge look sanitary. But McDonald's doesn't just sell burgers, it sells comfort, childhood, predictability. And that trust? That might be the most processed ingredient of all. Now let's talk about a place that feels almost too wholesome to question. Chick-fil-A. The drive-thru where every "my pleasure" makes you feel like you just got a hug from your southern aunt. But behind those courteous smiles, a factory line dressed in customer service drag. That famously tender chicken sandwich? It's soaked in a brine of MSG, sugar, and artificial flavorings that trick your tongue into believing it's fresh off Grandma's stove. The oil? Peanut, yes, but not pristine. It's reused, shift after shift, darkening in flavor and quality until that crispy bite is more about burnt leftovers than golden crunch. And the waffle fries? Not hand-cut or crafted with love. They're flash-frozen and bulk-stored, ready to be dumped and dusted with salt until they resemble something worthy of Instagram? And that hand-squeezed lemonade glow-up they boast about? It's a concentrate, pumped full of sugar. We're talking up to 58 grams per large serving, more than a Coke. The illusion of real ingredients is sold at a markup, and we drink it up, thinking we made the smarter choice. Behind the counter? Cross-contamination chaos. One former employee admitted during a TikTok deep dive that staff often reused flour bins from breaded chicken for hours without cleaning them. Gloves skipped. Meat stations and prep tables wiped only when it looked bad enough to notice. Another manager confessed that hitting 90-second drive-thru times sometimes meant skipping basic food safety steps altogether. And if you thought ordering a grilled chicken sandwich or a salad was the healthy route, the grilled deluxe option can top 1,000 calories before you even blink at the creamy dressings. That Cobb salad? Topped with fried chicken chunks and avocado lime ranch so fatty, it might as well come with a side of guilt. You're not eating healthy. You're eating a fast food cheat code dressed up like wellness. But if Chick-fil-A is Southern charm with a science lab menu, then Chipotle is a yoga mat rolled out on a dirty kitchen floor. On the surface, it's all clean eating vibes. Open kitchens, sizzling pans, and words like farm-sourced and responsibly raised flying across the menu board. But lift that foil-wrapped burrito and take a hard look. You're staring into one of the worst records of foodborne illness outbreaks in fast casual history. Norovirus, Salmonella, E. coli, name a pathogen. Chipotle's been on a first-name basis with it. Customers started calling it Chip-Sick-Lay for a reason. What's happening behind the counter? Prep work done in massive batches with guacamole stirred elbow-deep in 5-gallon tubs. Rice left to sit on counters for hours. Lettuce washed, but not dried, then tossed straight into your bowl, carrying every waterborne hitchhiker with it. Meat? Sometimes par-cooked in a rush and then finished just before serving. If you're a vegetarian, brace yourself. Whistleblowers have shown that shared utensils and messy stations mean dairy and gluten often sneak into bowls labeled safe. This isn't theory, it's documented. After a 2015 E. coli outbreak across 11 states, Chipotle paid out millions in lawsuits and shuttered dozens of locations. The CDC linked many of these flare-ups to inconsistent food handling and poor employee hygiene. That fresh claim? It's become a shield, deflecting scrutiny while the problems fester behind it. And here's the kicker. Even if you dodge the bacteria, you're not avoiding the bloat. One standard burrito with rice, beans, meat, cheese, sour cream, guac, and salsa can climb past 1,500 calories and 2,500 milligrams of sodium. That's more salt than the American Heart Association recommends for an entire day. Still think it's the healthy fast food? Stick around. Next, we're going inside a place that sells nostalgia in a breadbasket. Spoiler: the Olive Garden fantasy might just be reheated comfort from a plastic bag. Let's step into a place that practically oozes comfort. Dim lights, soft booths, endless salad, and that magical basket of breadsticks. Yep, Olive Garden. The chain that convinced millions of us that Italian food means cream-heavy pasta and garlic breath for days. But behind that cozy date-night glow, it's not Nonna's kitchen. It's more like a microwave assembly line with a sprinkle of parsley for illusion. Start with the Alfredo sauce, thick, rich, warm, and squirted straight from pre-cooked plastic bags. Pasta? Boiled hours in advance, left in industrial tubs, and reheated to order. Sometimes it sits for so long the texture turns gummy, but a bit of hot water and aggressive plating fixes that right up. And the lasagna? It's not stacked fresh in some back room. These are frozen bricks, thawed in batches and microwaved into submission. Add a dash of dried parsley on top and suddenly it looks authentic. But it's the same as a frozen dinner, just plated nicer and triple the price. Breadsticks, pre-baked, flash-frozen, and finished in ovens that rarely see a full clean. One former employee described the garlic butter as a margarine blend squirted out of what looked like a caulking gun. Appetite lost yet? Let's talk about the salads. Those giant bowls with tongs no one ever knows how to use? They start with pre-chopped, bagged lettuce, often near expiration. Servers reported mixing expired greens with fresher ones just to avoid tossing them. It's not just lazy, it's dangerous. Health inspectors have flagged Olive Garden locations for standing water on prep floors, improperly stored meat, and staff skipping glove changes between handling raw and ready-to-eat food. One server confessed on Reddit that when a customer found a fly in their soup, the manager just reheated it and sent it back out. Wine list? Mostly bulk jugs. Fancy bottle labels slapped on. Tiramisu? Frozen sheet cake cut into squares. You're not paying for food. You're paying for the illusion of comfort. Now let's head to Wendy's, where the slogan, "Fresh, never frozen," sounds so confident, it practically dares you to challenge it. But here's the catch. Fresh doesn't always mean what you think. Yes, their beef isn't frozen, but that also means it's more vulnerable. On busy days, the grill is jam-packed with patties, often tossed on speculatively, just in case. Not ordered? No problem. They'll sit in warming drawers, drying out under heat lamps until someone buys them. If not, they go into the chili? Yes, the chili. It's not just a comforting side. It's a meat graveyard. Leftover burgers from the day before are chopped up, mixed with beans and seasoning, and turned into a steaming cup of resourceful stew. It's efficient. It's also a health inspector's red flag waiting to happen. The fries? Often cooked in oil that should have been changed long ago. But instead of swapping it out, staff top it off to keep the volume high. That odd bitter aftertaste? burnt oil that's been cycled through so many rounds it should qualify for a pension. In multiple inspections across the country, Wendy's locations were flagged for improper storage of raw meat, food workers handling cash, and then burgers without glove changes, and cleaning supplies stored next to food prep stations. The root cause? A culture that trains workers to prioritize speed over safety. We'll wrap this up with one final stop: In-N-Out, the golden child of fast food. Simple menu, retro charm. But is it really the gold standard? Or just better at hiding its mess? Yes, they use fresh beef. Yes, the fries are hand-cut. But behind that crisp branding, it's chaos under pressure. When rush hour hits, it's a flurry of early patty flips, undercooked centers, and burgers rushed onto warming trays. Fries spoil fast, but still get served. Oil gets topped off, not filtered. Same knives cut raw beef and lettuce. Same tubs of secret sauce sit out far longer than they should. Trash bins overflow. Grilled onions dry out. Rookie staff fumble under pressure. And the brand keeps its shine by banking on what you think is happening, not what actually is. And that's the thread tying it all together. McDonald's sells nostalgia. Chick-fil-A sells politeness. Chipotle sells freshness. Olive Garden sells comfort. Wendy's sells originality. In-N-Out sells purity. But they all use the same playbook: sell the illusion. Max out efficiency. Minimize labor. Prioritize image. It's not just about food, it's about perception. You remember the fries that smelled too good to be true? The lemonade that tasted fresh squeezed but came from concentrate? The salad that felt like a safe choice but packed more calories than a cheeseburger? That's the pattern. They all want you to trust the branding. Because once you trust the branding, you stop asking questions. And when you stop asking questions, they win. It's easy to dismiss this stuff as fast food being fast food. But think about it. Why does your stomach feel off the next day? Why do you feel bloated, jittery, or exhausted? Why do some people swear they get headaches after a drive-thru meal? It's not your imagination. It's the shortcuts, the preservatives, the old oil, the reheated meat, the frozen sauces, the sanitation gaps, the untrained hands, and the quiet corporate policies that reward speed over safety, margin over quality. No one's saying you have to stop eating out. We're not here to shame cravings or tell you to cook every meal from scratch. But you deserve to know what's behind the counter. You deserve transparency, not just taste. And once you see how many chains use nostalgia, kindness, or clean vibes to distract you, it's hard to unsee it. So next time you unwrap that burger, bite into that healthy bowl, or sip that fresh drink, pause. Ask yourself, who's really cooking? And what are they not telling you? Because the most dangerous ingredient in fast food isn't sugar, salt, or MSG. It's blind trust. If this hit a nerve, and let's be honest, how could it not? Make sure you subscribe to Undercover Spoon. We've got more food secrets coming. You deserve better than smoke and mirrors. Stay curious, stay questioning, and above all, stay hungry for the truth.